Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a narrative right now that honestly feels exactly like a Hollywood script, except it's playing out right in front of us in reality on the global stage. We are looking at a final quest, a definitive challenge, and the ultimate culmination of a legendary career as we look toward the 2026 World Cup. This is Ronaldo's final quest. So, the big question on everyone's mind, can Cristiano Ronaldo actually win the 2026 FIFA World Cup? For a player who has literally defined a whole generation of football, 2026 represents the ultimate horizon. We're going to break down whether he can actually pull this off. Because to truly understand the stakes here, we have to look way past the basic headlines and examine the real mechanics of what this tournament demands. This isn't just about an athlete showing up to play a game, right? It's about this unprecedented collision of physical longevity, squad dynamics, and an incredibly unforgiving global landscape. So let's jump right in and break down the core factors that will determine if the biggest prize in football can finally be his in 2026. Section 1. The Record Breaker. 41. Just let that number sink in for a second. By the time the 2026 World Cup kicks off, Ronaldo will be 41 years old. Now, to truly appreciate the gravity of that, we really have to think about what it takes to play as a forward in modern international football. The sport has literally never been faster, the pressing has never been more intense, and the physical demands, they've never been higher. For a forward to be operating at this elite tier at age 41 is entirely uncharted territory. But the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that he isn't just showing up for some sort of ceremonial farewell tour. No way. He is actively breaking records and proudly leading Portugal on the pitch. His ongoing presence completely redefines our expectations of human physiology and an athlete's lifespan in professional football. It's just this unmatched drive that acts as the very foundation for this 2026 campaign. Moving on to Section 2, the Portuguese powerhouse. Because, let's be real, absolutely nobody wins a World Cup alone, no matter how legendary their individual status is. Portugal is heading into this World Cup outfitting one of the most formidable, tactically complete squads on the planet. They boast world-class players distributed evenly right across the entire pitch. What this means in a practical sense is that opponents can't simply focus all their defensive energy on marking one guy. The threat is everywhere. More importantly, though, the national team has struck that highly elusive tactical balance. Seasoned, battle-tested experience paired with explosive young talent. You need those experienced minds to calmly navigate the crushing pressure of the knockout stages, but you absolutely need the relentless energy of youth to fuel the engine of the team through a grueling month-long tournament. Ronaldo is surrounded by a machine that is fully capable of going all the way. Section 3. The Gauntlet of Rivals. Argentina, France, Brazil, England, Spain. Winning the World Cup won't just be hard, it's going to be an absolute gauntlet. Just hearing those names back to back illustrates the sheer density of talent standing in his way. These are the heavyweight nations of global football. They aren't just participating, they're fielding their own deeply cohesive systems, their own generational talents, and their own superstars, who are all fiercely hungry for the exact same slice of history. Surviving a World Cup requires navigating a minefield where just one bad half of football sends you packing. Portugal will literally have to conquer the absolute best of the best, teams operating at their maximum potential just to even reach the summit. Which brings us to Section 4, the final missing trophy. It's the one trophy that has always escaped him. When you zoom out and look at his career, it's mind-blowing. You see league titles, Champions League dominance, European championships, and just endless individual accolades. So this 2026 run, it isn't just another tournament appearance. It's the final, essential puzzle piece to a career that has otherwise conquered literally everything there is to conquer in the sport. It's the glaring void in the trophy cabinet that gives this particular World Cup campaign an unparalleled level of dramatic weight. It all boils down to a concept fans affectionately refer to as trying to complete football. Will he finally complete football and lift that World Cup trophy? It's a phrase that perfectly captures the magnitude of what is at stake here. To win in 2026 wouldn't just be a triumphant victory for the nation of Portugal. For Ronaldo, it would mean mathematically and symbolically conquering the sport itself. I mean, it's the ultimate mic drop, leaving absolutely no stone unturned and no debate unsettled before he finally steps off the pitch for the last time. Which brings us to you. On one hand, you have this unprecedented, record-breaking drive paired with a powerhouse Portuguese squad engineered for deep tournament runs. But on the other hand, you've got the undeniable gauntlet of rival nations operating at their absolute peak, combined with the incredibly harsh physical reality of playing at 41 years old. So I want you to weigh in on this highly contested debate. Does the ultimate record breaker have one last historic miracle in him? Or is the mountain of global rivals simply too high to climb this time around? Keep this dynamic in mind as we watch the fascinating journey to 2026 unfold. Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a storyline that goes way beyond just sports. We're talking about a quest to achieve something so exceptionally rare, it literally hasn't been done in over 60 years. Right, we are looking at a narrative that has absolutely captivated the globe. Lionel Messi's epic quest for a second back-to-back World Cup title. Part 1. The Ultimate Question. Let's briefly look at the hook and the incredible history behind this legendary run. Okay, let's dive into this. Can Lionel Messi actually make history and win the FIFA World Cup for a second time in a row? To understand the sheer gravity of this, you really have to look at the history of the sport. No nation has achieved a consecutive victory since Brazil did it way back in 1962. We aren't just talking about winning a tournament here. We are talking about defying a 6-decade historical precedent on the world's absolute most unforgiving stage. The physical toll, the constantly shifting tactical landscapes, and the tiny margins of error required to navigate a knockout tournament even once, they're astronomical. So to do it twice in a row, that requires a level of sustained excellence that, honestly, borders on the impossible. And just look back at Argentina's World Cup glory in 2022. It wasn't just a win, it was an exhausting, completely cinematic realization of a lifelong dream. After carrying the weight of an entire nation, and while surviving that absolutely heart-stopping roller coaster of a final in Qatar against France, Messi finally reached the summit. That victory elevated the entire squad to legendary status, exercising literally decades of near misses and heartbreak for the fans. But well, as any seasoned champion will tell you, glory is fleeting unless you can defend it. The euphoria of Qatar has kind of settled now, and the harsh reality of the grueling 2026 cycle has well and truly begun. Moving on to part 2, the case for Argentina, and the sheer arsenal they're bringing to the pitch. Now, what's really interesting about this is the specific makeup of their dominance. Argentina's power rests on a formidable trifecta of strengths. First up, they have a deeply talented squad that expertly blends seasoned veterans with hungry, rising stars. They aren't just leaning on the old guard, They've continuously injected fresh tactical versatility into their ranks. Second, they possess a proven winning mentality. They've completely conquered the psychological pressure cooker of the knockout stages. They know exactly how to suffer, absorb pressure, and still come out on top. And finally, a captain who absolutely shines on the biggest stage. When structured, tactical plans inevitably break down and the game just turns into a brawl, Messi's individual brilliance completely takes over. Part 3. The Heavyweight Challengers. We're talking about the ultimate gauntlet. And this brilliantly illustrates the real tension at play here. The 2026 dream colliding squarely with football's toughest challenge. Defending a World Cup is just a grueling test of endurance. Not only are you battling an aging core and the natural physical decline of key players, but you are stepping onto the pitch with a massive, massive target on your back. Opponents have literally spent 4 years meticulously studying your tactical playbook, searching for every single exploitable weakness. There's a reason the notorious winner's curse has plagued defending champions for decades. The hunger to stay at the top rarely matches the desperate hunger of those trying to pull you down. And let me tell you, those challengers are formidable. First, you have France, absolutely desperate to avenge their 2022 final loss and boasting arguably the deepest talent pool on the entire planet. Then you have Brazil, armed with a brand new generation of attacking flair and eager to restore their historical dominance. There's a young, technically flawless Spain who can dictate the tempo against literally anyone in the world. And of course, an England squad hungry to finally end their decades-long trophy drought. These heavyweights aren't just participating in the tournament. They are coming specifically for Argentina's crown, and they definitely have the tactical firepower to take it. Finally, part 4. Have your say. It's time for the verdict. So the crucial point is this historic balancing act. Will it be a yes? Can Messi defy the physical odds, completely break the historical curse of the defending champions, and actually capture a back-to-back title? Or is it a no? Is the 2026 gauntlet simply too steep, clearing the path for another nation to take the trophy? The tension between statistical improbability and sheer undeniable genius is exactly what makes this sport so captivating for us. We are watching a team push the absolute boundaries of what is possible in modern football, right up against a field of elite challengers who have never, ever been more prepared to stop them. So I'll leave you with this. Can Messi inspire his nation to back-to-back World Cup triumphs? What do you think? I want you to drop your absolute best prediction in the comments below right now. Let's really get the debate going. And hey, make sure you subscribe for more updates as we track this historic journey. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and keep learning.